Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Northern Alberta. We're expecting a bit of a snowstorm tonight and tomorrow, so this will be an interesting couple of days. So Athabasca to the left here on Highway 55, and we are northbound on Highway 63. Northern Alberta headed to Fort McMurray. First time I've ever taken this highway up there. 279 kilometers to Fort Mac. But I have worked for 2 weeks in Fort McMurray before, but never driven this highway before. It's a long, desolate highway. We fueled up in Leduc. We fueled up in Leduc, just south of Edmonton. And a big rig fuel isn't really an issue when you go this far north, because we can burn fuel for I can drive a day and a half. Well, if the weather gets worse, it'd be less, but I can drive at least a solid day without refueling. So we should have no problem getting up there and all the way back down without fueling. But
cars would have to get
cars, you would have to plan it out. Make sure you fuel up at the right places, or else you might be in trouble. Yeah, it's a lot of forest. The further north you get, the more forest we're going to get. Just kind of rolling hills like this all the way up, I think. Farmland further south here, there's farmland and pasture land, but further north we get the more trees we're going to run into. Trees. Yeah, when I worked in Fort McMurray, I was still working at Walmart. I went there to train a new chipper receiver, pretty much receiver. Don't chip much out of Walmart, but we chip some stuff. I'm talking as if I still work there. But yeah, went up there to train. Hotel was like 2 blocks away from the store, so I'd walk to work. And no other place have I ever been asked for a good time at 6 a.m. in the morning while walking 2 blocks. It was during the oil boom, so there was a lot of people up there, and when there's that much money up there, there's also attracts a lot of shady people. All these oil workers and miners up there got paid very, very, very well and had nothing to spend their money on. So casinos and crime and the nightlife did well there. And Walmart had an impossible time keeping employees. Pallets of freight would come in, shrink wrapped, we'd pull them out onto the floor. We wouldn't even put it on the shelf. The shelves were empty. People would just chop right from the pallets, rip the boxes apart for you and look for what they wanted. You just park them in the right departments, and you didn't have time to put them on the shelf. We had a whole group of us up there. And by the time we left, the shelves were full, but at first, when we first started, it was just crazy. It felt like a Black Friday deal where everybody just comes and tears through your pallets. It's like, whoa. And then, of course, I started training this guy. A few days into training, one of the delivery guys comes inside and goes, "Hey, anyone have their class 1s? I'm looking for a driver right now. This is the pay." My receiver I was training just goes, "Yeah, I got class 1s," and walked out the door. Didn't drop his badge, nothing, didn't tell anyone except for me, him training him. Didn't, just walked out and took the job. Just like that. It's like, well, I guess the person I'm training is me now. I guess I'm the new receiver because there's no one to train. So by the time my 2 weeks were up, I was just chipper. I was just a receiver for the rest of the time. And they had some people from different stores coming in, just rotating us through, working up there for 2 weeks at a time until they could figure it out. But that was interesting. Hotel room was, I can't remember how many floors up I was, but I was a few floors up, like 6 or 7 floors up. And I turned the TV on, and all of a sudden the TV was boring compared to the stuff going on outside. Happened a couple times where all of a sudden you saw all these cops show up and people would be getting arrested and there was chases. It's like, yeah, this is definitely when there's so much money, it becomes a place where criminals thrive. So a lot of money and boredom where there's nothing to do. Most of the workers are hundreds and thousands of miles away from home. In fact, a lot of the people up there were from Newfoundland. They're far across the country. We had a lot of Newfoundlanders up there and a lot of East Indian people up there. And it was interesting when you had a person from Newfoundland with that Newfoundland accent training or teaching an East Indian person how to speak English. And their first destination in Canada was Fort McMurray. So they learned English from someone from Newfoundland. So I was supposed to try to understand an East Indian and a Newfoundland accent put together. It's like, I think you're speaking English, but you're gonna have to speak a little slower because I don't understand your English. That's just the environment it was, right? Oh, seeing a lot of lines into the ditches. And then we get a mud bath like that. Seen a couple cars in the ditch already, some pickups in the ditch. So these roads are, it's -7. So these roads are slipperier than they look, I think. I could be driving a little quicker, but that guy in front of me is going a little slower and I don't want to be on his bumper. I just get a mud bath the whole time. It's kind of a hard road to pass. Going just a few kilometers under speed, but even the pickup behind me hasn't been able to pass me, so if he's having a hard time pass, I don't think I'd have a good time passing. What town do we got here? Well, I guess that's a pretty suitable name for over here. Grassland, the town of Grassland. They have a fuel station there, so if you're a car, that's a good place to fuel up. Thanks, Carmen. Wish you always warned me that loud if there's speed limit change. That'd be nice. I got a feeling it's going to be a washer fluid type of day. I think I've got another 4 jugs, so I should be okay. Oh, the school's on, okay. Looks like it's a permanent school zone. Now, they've got an outdoor hockey rink. Why would you not? Northern Alberta. Although it does not look like it's taken care of very well. It's an empty truck going up north. Interesting. It does sound like dispatch does have a load for me in Fort McMurray or near there somewhere. Like I said yesterday, he asked if I would get there by tomorrow at 4 p.m. I'm like, I'll get there today at 4 p.m. Oh, there's an ESSO card lock back there. Cool, good to know. Don't need the fuel, but a small little town has got a lot of travel type of businesses, restaurants and fuel stations. Well, luckily this truck is turning off. So I don't even have to try passing him. Of course, there's probably going to be a next slower truck in front of us, but there's a petrol pass there as well. Fuel prices are so cheap in Alberta. 94.9 cents. That's for gasoline, not for diesel, but still. That's a liter, yes. Canadian cents for. We've been paying $1.70 this summer. Last summer in Penticton, right? $1. How much was it? I think it got pretty close to that. No? What did it get close to? She's saying $1.50. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to prices. I just get fuel when I need it. Gotta pay the price there is. That's the price I'll pay. So we'll see how the roads get. I was talking to another truck driver in Leduc where we were unloading. He's headed up to Fort Mac too, and he was up in Fort Mac yesterday, and his trailer is just packed with snow, and it says it's cold up there and lots of snow, so I think the roads are going to just degrade worse and worse as we get further up. So we'll see. I might shoot a short little bonus video later on if the weather is behaving enough to do that. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Well, what does it say here? Not north of Wandering. North of Wandering are the roads are snow covered. I don't know where Wandering is, but Wandering River. Okay, that's it. Wandering River. I guess they're pretty straightforward with their names up here. Grassland and Wandering River. Yeah, Wood Buffalo. And there's a lot of names that ring of Native American type of names. So yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great day and enjoy.